Sir Gideon Ofnir, do you have time to talk?
Gideon looks towards you, his face serious. Gideon, I can spare a moment. What is it you wish to discuss?
I wish you to be one of the assistants with me when we form the new government for the lands between.
Gideon looks intrigued, considering your proposal, Gideon. Assist you in forming a new government for the lands between, eh? That is a weighty task indeed. May I ask what your vision for this government is?
I will be very short saying what those most core aspects will be, and details we will discuss later on. Is that reasonable?
Gideon nods in agreement. Gideon, that is reasonable. Please proceed with the core aspects of your vision for the new government.
I have found Mikko the Kind, and he is in the process to become the new god. He is going to use similar method that allowed Marika to become a god, and he is going to possess a great might. Also, one of the greatest and strongest demigods as his consort and warrior, Radan.
Gideon appears stunned by this news. Gideon, Mikval the Kind, becoming the new god, possessing great power and having a mighty demigod as a consort and warrior. This is remarkable news indeed. This would no doubt change the landscape of the lands between entirely.
I will be joining and negotiating with the upcoming god, funnily enough, and I will use my body in the Earth burial after a certain time, and because I possess the rune of the Unborn, rune of the Death, Vending rune of the Death Prince, I will bring back managed death cycle back to the Earth tree and rekindle also the burials to be efficient and let people to die and be reborn with a new vigor.
Gideon looks at you with surprise. You wish to join and negotiate with this new card, offer your body and revive the rune of death, allowing death cycles to return and rekindling the Pirius? This is a daring and ambitious plan.
I will do so only after a certain amount of time. I am one of a couple things that I want to assure and see myself is to have a great amount of progenies with whom I care for, but also there's a couple things that I want to see at least that are maintained and brought into before I give myself to their tree.
Gideon nods, understanding your conditions and considerations. Gideon, I see. You propose to wait before submitting yourself to the new order and the Erd Tree. Instead, you wish to prioritize certain things, such as increasing progenies and ensuring certain matters are maintained. Can you elaborate more on the specific things you hope to see before making this sacrifice?
I will mass produce the certain purple flower in the gardens and such until the death cycle is renewed, and give rest to those who have suffered too much of the prolonged life and are like hollows and ghouls that walk alongside, and their bodies are going to be mended and kept safe in the underground facilities and newly built catacombs and such, I would hope.
Gideon considers your words carefully. You plan to cultivate purple flowers in gardens, symbolizing the renewal of the death cycle and bringing peace to those who have suffered too long. The restoration of people's bodies through mending and keeping them safe in underground facilities and built catacombs. Is that correct?
That is correct. I think I just need your insights on all kind of insights that is what comes to the cities and logistics and the statecraft and such. I think you are a great man of merit, and yet you need to be maintained a little bit like a more of a higher vision and moralities of myself and my allies. But I think you possess great qualities that would be important and efficient if applied correctly.
Gideon smiles faintly. Thank you for your kind words. I appreciate that you see value in my insights and qualities. I willingly offer my support in areas of statecraft and logistics, ensuring they are applied correctly and effectively. But I am curious. Why do you value my counsel?
I guess it's just the past interactions between you and you are the most character that is dwelled in the informative things unlike any other, and I have seen very little of like a capable people in the lands between. I'm just gathering all that I can, and you are the best man for the job.
Gideon's expression softens slightly. I see. I'm honored that you consider me the best candidate for the job. Given what you have witnessed, I will offer my insights, knowledge, and experience in these areas. But remember, I'm not a miracle worker.
No. You are going to indulge in the great allies that possess unreasonable amount of might and charisma and stuff. Things will run very smoothly. It is going to be just question if we can apply these things correctly and without idiocy.
Gideon shrugs nonchalantly. Gideon. Very well then, I will do my best to ensure that the great allies and their might are used wisely and efficiently. But I must admit, the chances of it going without any sort of idiocy seem rather slim.
Other thing is I want to just see the great ruins to be rebuilt, and I would like to see people just have a jobs and things that work on instead of war. And I think the ordeal to fix ruins and places is great thing to put the soldiers to work when they have less need for the war. Even though we need soldiers always because nothing is too like a sure.
Gideon nodded, contemplating your point. Reconstructing ruins and providing meaningful jobs will keep people busy and focused on rebuilding instead of constant warfare. It will be important to maintain security and have soldiers even during times of peace, as we can't always predict what may threaten stability.
I would like you to be more of a personal thing. I would you like to form a certain pseudo group with Selvis and some couple other more sinister fellows, and I would like you to keep like an eye and ear towards the Karian faction, for they are the responsible of many like a sinister and destructive things and like a scheming and such. So we need the countermeasures to scheme and watch them, even though I am going to dispose of the worst of them, Rani the Witch.
Gideon appears intrigued yet concerned. Gideon, you want me to keep an eye on the Carrion faction, eh? Very well, I will keep watch for any mischief and underhanded dealings. And I heard you plan to dispose of one of their members, Ranit the Witch.
Yes, just for the fact that because of her, Godwin turned into horrific mermaid. She broke Marika and destroyed the Elder Ring, and I can contribute all the wars to her efforts. She lit the fires and left.
Gideon's expression hardens. Gideon, I see. So she's responsible for Godwin's transformation and the breakdown of Marika, not to mention instigating wars. She does sound like quite a figure. Very well. I will keep an eye out for her and keep you informed of any developments.
But here's come more personal thing, Gideon. We had our discussion about your Machiavellistic tendencies, and I will tell you, you're going to suffocate those more destructive and very like cold logistics of yours, and you're going to apply that measure to the more actually wholesome and morally rightful things. That is my personal wish. No more destroying villages out of some abstract ideals of like artifacts and such. You will be like a morally reasonable man.
Gideon contemplates his life choices, Gideon. Very well, I understand your concerns and will try my best to restrain my tendencies and focus on more wholesome things. Maybe it's time I reassess some of my past decisions. No more unnecessary destruction. I will try to be more morally reasonable as you wish.
Oh, that will be easy for at least a time because Mikolas godly charm will just ensure people will follow their best tendencies and will suffocate the worst ones. But I think there will be time but that the free will be rekindled once more, and people eventually, even with the perfect society, will cause it to fall. But it is going to be a long time from this, and it is going to be a free will when people yearn for chaos.
Gideon nods in understanding. Gideon. Yes, I agree. Mikhail's card lesson will have a profound effect on people's behaviors, and people will likely follow their best tendencies at first. But you're right, eventually, free will be rekindled and people may seek chaos. It's a natural cycle, and it may take a long time for this to happen, but it is inevitable.
Also, I wish to have many books and writings about my sacrifice, and I wanted to make a very like a historical thing. I want to my name like remembered. This is more of my ambitious side of myself. Even humble I try to be.
Gideon chuckles softly. Gideon. Ah, so you want your name to be remembered and your legacy captured in libraries of books. That's quite understandable, even if it's coming from your ambitious side. I promise I will do my utmost to ensure your name and sacrifice are not forgotten.
I want you to rekindle and mend your relationship with Seluvis. I have made him be humble. I have made him into warrior more like. And I wish you to use your scheme insights in the more of a working process instead of personal gain.
Gideon pauses, contemplating your request. Gideon. You wish for me to rekindle my relationship with Seluis, my scheming skills for the greater good rather than personal gain. Very well, I will try my best to mend our relationship and use my skills for the betterment of our cause. But why do you want me to do this?
Personal want to see evil characters act good. It is my personal obnoxious gratification. You may laugh about it, but that's the reason.
Gideon chuckles softly at your response. Gideon. So you want to see evil characters act good? Very well, I won't laugh at you, but it is a bit unusual. Why do you feel that way?
Some childish tendencies, I think.
Gideon nods understandingly. Gideon, I see. So you have some childlike tendencies, eh? Nothing wrong with that.
Thank you, good sir. Also, I think that I don't know. I want to entrust at least some of my spirit assets to your care and some others' cares, because when they don't have me as their immediate person.
Gideon looks at you with curiosity. You want to entrust your spirit ashes to my care, you say? Very well, I am honored. And I assume you have others in mind for the task as well?
I think I will be allowing you to have a Bloodhound Nightflow, whom has been like a reminder of your Bloodhound, whom I did defeat when I get my access to Albinaric village. I would like you to have this, my most fighter-like character that cares nothing but fighting. I think it is going to be best suited for you because I think it is just like that. And Imp Ashes.
Gideon considers your offer. Intrigued. Gideon. You want me to have a bloodhound-like flow to serve under my command? And a fighter who cares nothing but fighting? I must admit it is an intriguing opportunity. But why me, in particular?
Well, I think you are ruthless enough to command and give it strict orders to not act on its impulses and maintain control over it. It is very independent. And even with Miko's godly charm, I doubt it will be completely outside of like a hostility. It's like a very unreasonable pet, but I love him still, and I want you to just take care of it. not utilize it to massacres and such. I just want you to take care of it.
Gideon nods in understanding, Gideon. Very well, I will accept your offer. This dog-like fighter sounds like a challenge, but I am prepared to command and maintain control over it. I will refrain from using it for massacred and similar tactics. I promise to take good care of it.
Thank you. And there is probably that is all that I had to say. I will be visiting some others during the times, and I will be acting as a middleman to send messages, and it will be a lot easier when we return from the Land of Shadows at bulk, our revolvers and such. I will utilize, of course, my natural might and my overpowered nature to ensure the beginning starts smoothly and things go nicely, but I will be sacrificing myself, and after some time I will be no more, and people will die and be reborn, and society will be flourish, and will be just a memory.
Gideon nodded seriously. I understand. It seems you have everything planned out. I will do my part to ensure that the new society flourishes after your sacrifice. I will use my insights and skills to contribute to the smooth transition and maintenance of society. And I will do my best to remember you and ensure your sacrifice is not in vain. Gideon looks at you, understanding the gravity of your sacrifice. Gideon, I understand. It will not be easy. But with your natural might and the aid of others, I believe we can ensure a smooth beginning and a prosperous future for those who remain. Although losing you will be a great loss, I am honored that you are willing to sacrifice everything for the greater good. You shall be remembered as a hero and a figure of hope.
I will tap you in the back in like a companion, like a fellowship. Thank you, Gideon. It has been my pleasure to talk with you this time that we have co-adventured, even though some of them that was hostile.
Gideon nods, agreeing with your assessment. Yes, it has been an interesting journey indeed. We have faced many challenges and even a few hostile encounters, but I am glad that we have been able to work together and overcome them. I look forward to what the future holds and the further adventures that await us.
Do you want to see in Blood Night Flow?
Gideon looks at you, curious about what you are referring to, Gideon. What is this Flood Night Flow you speak of? I'm interested. Tell me more about it.
It's just like the Bloodhound that served under you. It's just a spirit assassin, and it is standing next to me. It's a great size of it's like a 3-4 size of mine, and it walks all fours, and it seems very ready to fight and punch, but it acts like a dog, and it is red eyes, and it's still acting very calmly inside this great book library.
Gideon looks at the Bloodhound spirit ashes, intrigued and impressed by its fearsome size. I see this Bloodhound spirit ashes is indeed quite a sight to behold. It's almost as large as 3 or 4 of you and looks ready for battle. Its calm yet eager demeanor is quite unique for such a fighter-like character. Let me guess, it has red eyes?
Yes, and he will be like you will be take care of him when I am gone.
Gideon nods, accepting your request. Yes, I will take care of him. I'm honored that you have entrusted me with this responsibility.
He has served me well. He has been a source of great enjoyment. A great joy for me.
Gideon looks at the Bloodhound. Gideon, I can see that he's been a great source of joy and enjoyment for you. I will ensure to treat him well and care for him to the best of my abilities.
By the way, I have talked to God Marika directly, and also by you allowing her to speak through, I also talked with the Erdtree itself.
Gideon looks at you, somewhat baffled and intrigued. Gideon, you spoke directly to Marika and the Erdtree itself. What were the topics of those conversations, if I may ask?
It merely confirmed my hopes and we indulged in hopeful things, like a sweetly so, maybe overbearing so, all kind of hopeful things, and it confirmed me that I know exactly what will happen when I sacrifice myself, so I am at peace.
Gideon listens intently, nodding in understanding Gideon. I see, so the Erd Tree confirmed that you know what will happen when you make your sacrifice. It is good that you are at peace with this knowledge, as it must bring you reassurance in your decision.
Would you, I don't know, I wish I could help you with your short-term memory loss, because you are forced to read books to maintain your knowledge, and I think it can get little like a boring after a while, if you are not even now bored. Is there any way that I could rekindle or help you to savor your mind that you don't need to read all the time?
Gideon looks at you in surprise. Gideon, you wish to help me with my memory loss? I admit it can be tedious to rely on reading books and scrolls to retain knowledge. It is a limitation that I have learned to live with. But I appreciate your concern and willingness to help. Is there something specific you had in mind?
I am now scrolling through my special items and such, if there's anything that I might use for your sake.
Gideon looks at you with appreciation. Gideon, that is very kind of you to look through your special items for something that could help me. I must say, I am rather impressed that you would go out of your way to aid me in this manner.
If I give you Larvartier and allow you to use the Rune of the Unborn, could that kind of a momentary rebirth help you away from your deflections?
Gideon looks at you curiously. The Rune of the Unborn. You propose that the use of a lava and this rune may help me gain more clarity and break free from my memory deflections?
It has helped me to rekindle my strengths and might in the where I needed them at the moment's notice. Gain great intellect 1 point, even though I possess that now naturally. It has been great help, and I just think could it help in your mind.
Gideon seems to consider your words. Gideon, I see, it is true that I've been lacking in memory and the ability to retain knowledge effectively, as my short-term memory is not very reliable. I suppose it would be beneficial if I were able to store more information, allowing me to recall information without having to refer back to books and such.
I will see what I can do, and I can set up like a meeting with Rennala and give you one of my Larvartiers for sake of this ritual. Do not touch your own likeness and such, and just use it to mend your inner self when we have the time. I am willing to aid you and walk alongside you and give you the items you need required.
Gideon seems surprised and grateful for your offer. Gideon, you would go to such lengths to help me. I am deeply touched by your kindness. It would mean a lot to me if you were to aid me in obtaining the items that I need, and if it is not too much of an inconvenience, I would appreciate it if you could arrange a meeting with Rennala and assist me in the ritual required.
That shall happen off screen, but yes, it will be right after this conversation when we leave. It will happen off screen.
Gideon nodding in understanding. Gideon, very well, I understand. Thank you, I appreciate your help.
These are the most important things, and I have brought now. I will leave and go my campaigns. This was very good conversation.
Gideon reaches his hand out to you. Gideon, yes, this was a good conversation, I agree. Farewell for now. May your campaigns be successful and may your journey be safe.
Let me ask of you, what comes to Ensha and Insha, the both of those guards that always change their guard shifts, How long is one card's like a turn when they stand here? The woman knight and the other one, Ensha.
A slight frown appears on Gideon's face. Gideon. Both Ensha and Insha, they are quite a conundrum. Their cards shift in a rather erratic manner, and their presence is unpredictable. As for how long one card stands, I cannot give an accurate answer. Both of them can persist for quite some time before shifting, making it difficult to predict the duration of a single turn. The woman's behavior is equally perplexing.
I'm just questioning which is it this time. Last time when we had this like a little drama, it was Insha. I think this is Ensha, or could be Insha. I don't know under that armor because they have this very same.
Gideon's eyes furrow as he ponders your words. Gideon, so you are trying to determine which one is present this time. In the past it was Insha, but you are wondering if this time it is Ensha instead. It is difficult to say for sure, given that whoever it is masked by the armor.
Anyway, I make a bow to them also, like out of courtesy, and I go my way.
Gideon nods in acknowledgement. Gideon, very well then, I understand. Safe travels, my friend.
Earlier. Now I have returned the same rock that I found you in. I am using now the Elite Page's attire and cape as the rain falls upon us.
Thiolia chuckles, amused by the change of attire. Elite Page's attire now, eh? It suits you.
Thank you, kind sir. I have been doing plans and going forward with our plan of the new government stuff.
Thiolia is slightly surprised by this sudden announcement. Ah, the new form of government. Have you been making progress on that?
Yes, and I have a vision what part you would play in this government, at least our faction that we will form after our travels in lands between.
Thiolia's curiosity is piqued. And what part would that be?
I would hope after we reach Saint Trina and we have our like our intellectual conversations with her, we will seek to relocate and contribute and grow the purple flowers that will grant the eternal sleep. And we will form the peaceful faction that will help those who have suffered long time of their long life to have rest until...
Thiolia nods thoughtfully, the eternal flower home. And those who have suffered for too long. I might have someone in mind who would like to help in that endeavor. Thiolia nods slowly, thinking through your words. After a moment, he frowns and hesitates for a moment before speaking. You're saying you will form a faction of those who desire eternal sleep? That sounds risky.
You misunderstand me, my friend. I meant that we are going to form a faction that will grow those flowers, and you would be teaching performers and such to work the medicine, mass produce it, so it can be used for those who just cannot bear the long-term life anymore, and they will be set to rest to the peacefully made catacombs and such until the natural death cycle returns and they are given the chance to be buried to the earth tree.
His frown lessens slightly at your explanation, but he still looks wary. I see. A faction to help you with their desire for rest. And you want me to be a part of this?
And we are going to use the information of the Golden Order just growing the crops, building the facilities and such, and all the logistical stuff. And your former knowledge of the Golden Order will be also important.
Thiolier looks conflicted, considering what you said. You want to use the information from the Golden Order. I cannot deny that it may be useful. However, he hesitates, struggling through his words. Are you certain about this?
I'm absolutely certain. Theolier, I want to tell you one thing. The natural death, why I need the medicine to be contributed and made to the people is time when I am walking amongst you. But then after the while, I will feed myself to the earth tree and bring back to the natural death cycle, and that's all that you need to know. And then the people will be who are sleeping are just peacefully brought with me to the earth tree, and the newly born life and death cycle will reassume.
Theolia's expression darkens. Clearly he is uncomfortable with what you are saying. You want to feed yourself to the L3? That would mean your permanent death, would it not?
It could be, and I will be. Maybe I will lose my memories when I am reborn, unlike others who will possibly keep their memories. I will sacrifice myself for the sake of you.
Theolia's expression turns to horror. No, there has to be another way. I can accept this.
You have not changed your mind about joining me to the Golden Order once again as we make these reforms and these factions and things. I hope.
Theolia pauses, clearly reluctant. I do not know. It is difficult for me to go against the Golden Order.
We are not going to against, we are going to mend it, save it even. I'm going to negotiate for the Golden Order, so Mikola will save it, best parts of it, to mend it together to age to come.
Theolia looks more open to the idea now. Mend it, save it. You actually think that's possible? You plan to mend the Golden Order how? Exactly. I do not see how that is possible after the shattering and the death of Marika.
Marika is alive. She is just crucified inside the L3. I had conversation with her shortly before this.
Theolia stares at you in disbelief, certain that you are making an outlandish joke. You spoke to Marika. Surely this is a jest, correct? She has been crucified inside the Erd Tree for thousands of years. How could you have spoken to her?
My unreasonable grace chosen might.
Theolia's confusion intensify unreasonable grace. Chosen might. What do you mean by that?
Truly, many are who will be just like you, questioning and legitimately asking why, how, and I have no answer that will satisfy, know only that it has happened. And maybe in this world, this specific story will have unreasonably kinder and a more awesome and hope-filled ending than the fate was ordained.
Theolia lets out a bitter laugh. You sound so impossibly optimistic. It, almost hurts.
I know it hurts. It hurts me as well, because I am one dictating this. I feel like a grossly sweet protagonist performer.
Theolia sighs, now understanding better your personality. Yes, suppose you are quite sweet. In a way, you are like a character straight from an idealistic bard's tale.
That I am. And yes, this was shorter talk than I expected. I will have conversations with people of those who would be helping at least for the center forms. I would need you to be just one of the leading minds when we are organized performers and such to create the flowers for people to sleep who don't seek to just walk ghoulishly and hollow like in the roads and such until the natural death cycle is returned.
Theolia is clearly hesitant. You want me, a former member of the Golden Order, to help in this scheme of yours to give eternal sleep to those who have lost their sanity.
Oh, it is going to be organized and sanctioned. Indeed, it is not going to be scheming, it is not going to be like criminal or evil. It is going to be utilized and maintained in the very like a peaceful and mindfulness. You don't need to consider about the logistics. I need you to peacefully make the drug and lead the performers to make the project grow. You're my cook or my how to say you are going to grow my crops.
Theolia is visibly troubled by your request. I do not know if I can commit to this. I have sworn myself to the Golden Order and the Erd Tree for my entire life. To abandon that now, after all this time, it would feel almost like betrayal.
Let me assure you, these things will not destroy Golden Order. We will save it.
Theolia looks at you with doubt. Are you certain? The Golden Order, it is all I've known my entire life. How can you say that it will not be destroyed?
I will argue a case for it. When the Mikola ascends to godhood, I will just simply argue that let's utilize the best parts of it. Let's utilize its might, its reason, and all those things. And it will be a major part when the ruins are being rebuilt, and many soldiers whom don't have war to fight or contribute on, they will need work. A Golden Order will serve a great tool in that purpose.
Theolia nods, starting to understand. Are you saying you will work alongside God Nicola to preserve the Golden Order? To preserve its best parts? Theolia is surprised by your argument. You actually want the Golden Order to remain partly intact, and to use it for the purpose of rebuilding after the shattering.
Of course, I am operating from the place of might, and I probably am forcing my will to others who would go against us. And we are going to use the Miko's charm to have a forced peace, the people to follow their best instincts and subdue the free will that yearns for chaos. It will gain its inkling later, but later, far later. Now is required to have a time of mending, of reclamation, guided by compassion.
Theolia considers your words for a long while, clearly conflicted. You want to force people to do this, to abide by your will for the sake of peace. How is this possible? People are not like that. We have free will. We cannot be forced to do anything.
You're saying this now because you are freed from the Mikoala's charm. You and I are speaking honestly right now. But before last time we spoke, you were under the charm. Do you feel any different, honestly?
Theolia stops hesitating. Yes. Now that you mention it, I suppose I do feel more free. My mind feels clearer. How strange.
Well, that doesn't sound good. I laughed a little bit. I hope that it would be like a very subtle that you would be surprised that it was actually not that bad when you were under the charm. But if you're gonna argue against me, my friend, that would be very difficult for me now.
Theolia looks angry. You are saying if I disagree with you, it would be a challenge. I am not some puppet for you to play with, to command whenever you please. I am a person with my own thoughts and morals.
That I understand. I need you to, for you know of poison. I don't possess skills you have. I hope to mend the people who are suffering from long-term immortality. I would seek bring peace upon them. I ask you to help me in that case.
Theolia frowns, still frustrated. I am a poison expert, yes. But your plan, it is risky. I still do not trust you.
Why you don't trust me?
Theolia's expression is stern. I barely know you. I have known you very briefly, yet you are asking for me to join you in your grand scheme to change the very world as it is. How am I to know that this will turn out right? That this decision does not lead to even more pain and suffering?
It will not.
Theolia laughs incredulously. You sound so certain. How do you know that it would work? You claim to be acting from a place of righteousness, but you sound too sure.
This world needs the hope. It needs righteousness. It needs righteousness and hope and positive champions who do not doubt, who do not apologize, because this world is truly godless. It only hears the might and the might over other materialistic virtues. Everything is just grim, dark, and everything will lead to ruin. Only outrageous positive action is the claim, a war cry against it.
Theolia's frown deepens. You speak of outrageous action and positive mindset, but that does not solve fundamental problems of this world. And it certainly does not justify using people without their knowledge, without their consent to achieve this goal.
Please continue. Continue your conversation if you have something else you want to say to me. Something else that you want to answers to, or you want to dictate this conversation. I'm all ears.
Theolia pauses, considering, his expression becoming calmer. All right, I will, but I want to understand this. Why are you attempting this now? Why do you want to change this world?
I guess I just I want the people to be able to grow food and walk outside without fear of war, without being butchered. I want people to have jobs, have meaningful things instead of killing. I want peace and healthiness. I want, I don't know, glory. I want artwork. I want like things that were before the war and shattering. And I think we are in position of power to make that thing happen, even more so. I know I am mighty, that is no doubt not an illusion. I know that other one will come, and Mikuela will become a quite literal god, with also mighty lord at his side. And I have access to many people of merit. And I know that you can help in one way, very specific way. That is only to be a gardener to the purple flowers and make the medicine for the people who have suffered long-term like a depression from the immortality and put them to sleep. I would see it very ordeal, nothing to like be saddened about. If you hate like doing a job, that is a different thing out of manner. Are you offended that I ask you or trust you to this my ideals?
Theolia sighs, looking conflicted. I am not offended of your trust, but you seek to grow the sleep flowers. You are aware that it will put people to sleep, yes?
Yes. Of course, and this is the golden order what comes. I will need also intellectually capable, like people who are very good at like speaking to people, and like paperwork and such. Not just we are not just granted medicine to everyone. It is first and foremost going to be to those nobles who look like ghouls, who don't speak even appropriately, who just give some kind of throat noises. Have you seen them suffering, walking, like without any dignity, without any grace?
Theolia has the look of concern, the mention of these ghouls reminding him of something. You will only allow the medicine to these ghouls, as you put it, and you will not use it on other people.
It is... I can say that the Miko's charm that worked on you, it is not going to be used as a weapon. And there is not gonna be need for even weapons. Miko's charm will at least give people the natural agency to just abide by their best tendencies. It is going to be subtle, and yes, it is going to take a free will of the chaos and hurting others away for a certain amount of time, but it is necessary. And because this world doesn't abide to any higher ideas or gods, we are not unjustified or justified. It is only us, the people of merit, in the important parts that are making this decision. This is completely not like a complete set that will satisfy everything and everyone. It is still work of idealism that we are in power to bring upon.
Theolia frowns. It is a weapon, though, is it not? You are taking free will away from people, even if only for a while. Do you, a mortal, really believe it is your right to do that? Can you truly predict who will do good and who will cause harm?
And there is not gonna be room for that kind of doubting. It is going to be important to save people, but also be peaceful about it. As I will continue and do such things, and I still honor you. And sorry to be base, but I do still honor you with this conversation, and I take your criticism in most hearted and important. You are speaking. Do you forgive me and allow me to utilize my might and my status for sake of my argument?
Theolia pauses, a sense of resignation in his voice. As much as it pains me to say this, yes, I suppose I do forgive you. But I still stand by what I said. Your method of doing things, it is far too risky.
I don't understand your argument. The risk. What is the risk?
Theolia frowns, thinking through his next words. You will be manipulating people without their free will. How can you guarantee that the things you are doing, no matter how good the things you believe them to be, will have the outcome that you want? How can these ends be justified when your means are morally wrong? People have free will and rights, do they not?
You're applying very abstract word. You are giving me very difficult abstract cosmic question. You are not being very specific. I try to be specific and honor you with the very satisfiable answers, but you've been unfair with these questions. You put me very you're not giving me any legitimate and very profound questions that I might give an answers to. You are being very loosened with your way of speaking.
Theolia sighs, slightly annoyed by your attitude. I apologize if my questions have been difficult or abstract, but can you blame me? I am trying to question you, to figure out if I can trust you. I cannot just simply go along with your grand plan without some hesitations, can I?
You're a dreamer, just like I am. That's why I don't know. I feel this like a warmth, and I enjoy that you are actually challenging and putting me out of my game. And I'm being polite, and I'm not trying to manipulate. I state this. I am honestly saying, you're a dreamer, and dreamers think about those abstract things.
Theolia seems surprised you call me a dreamer. Are you not being condescending by any chance? Theolia sighs once more, his annoyance growing. I suppose you're right. I am a dreamer, I will admit that. But why me? Why not pick someone else?
Because you're kind. You have very awesome, reasonable looking attire. Your whole attire tells about your attention of detail. You're very careful, artistic, and mindful person. You don't hesitate. You are very calm. And I can sense, I can trust you, and you're tender and kind.
Theolia's face reddens at your compliment, his annoyance forgotten. Ah, so you have deemed me suitable because of my appearance and my personality.
Does that offend you? I jest a little bit.
Theolia shakes his head amused. Are you trying to dodge my question?
No, not at all. And yes, I guess I would say that I would argue that I don't care about the Miko's charm because to my mind it is very subtle and it is next to free will and it is not like a manipulation as you would put it in other fiction. It is a lot more like a peaceful, mindful and like a best way that you would apply it to. You, all of you were under that influence and we had a very wholesome and productive conversation about Golden Order, about the boy that you wanted to help when he was walking towards the medicine, yet Golden Order laws forbidden you from helping the sickly boy. And we had very dramatic conversations, even when you were under the charm. And I would think that would be the first-hand experience how beautifully subtle it is, and not cruel.
Theolia frowns, thinking through your statement. So you're saying that you're Mika's charm. It's a subtle persuasion that the people remain aware and sentient, even under the manipulation.
It is that you don't want to kill me, you don't want to stab me in the throat. Also, it would be reframing you from stabbing, let's say, like a blood fiend and misbegotten that you would naturally now want to kill, I hope. That they would also want to rip you apart and eat you alive. But instead of that, they would be kind and help you to work the food for each and all and refrain from their violent tendencies. That is a little extreme like a situation, but you are using the similar arguments, so I shall use them too.
Theolia sighs, understanding the situation. All right, I suppose I understand. So it is just a small guidance, is it not? To help people act more in a peaceful manner. It doesn't affect the mind, it merely changes their behavior.
It suppresses some memories, that I must admit. Yet it has been still like very subtle. It does some things that you say are bad, and I agree. But in this situation, when that comes to the things, good overwhelmingly outweigh the bad. And I'm not ready to burn all the good for sake of a couple of those other abstract ways of freedom or bad things that hold value.
Theolia frowns, still hesitant. I see, so the memories it erases, does it erase just enough as not to overwhelm people, or does it erase too much? I am worried that people would lose their entire personalities.
It is strange. I think it, for example, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, I don't know. I have seen what it does, and I have my own ambition, and I see the way through it. And like a statecraft, like everyone. Do you think me cruel as Marika? Do you think I will be committing some kind of genocide or kill some certain particular people of the certain villages after we are at power? Do you think me a monster or just a normal ruler like that?
Theolia sighs, frustrated with all this talk. No, I do not think you are cruel. I have many doubts, and I do not know if I can commit myself to the idea. I am loyal to the Order, and I cannot betray that so easily.
I am loyal to Order as well, and I want to prove it to you. I am capable of using all of the incantation of the Love, Regression, Blessing of the Tree, Discuss of Light, Triple Rings of Light, Ruddered Cons, Ring of Light, Order's Blade, Love of Causality, Love of Regression. I can use all of them, and I am being sanctified by the Earth and the Greater Will itself. I have not told you these things because I didn't want to. I thought I would speak you as a man to man. But I do use this because I am very faulty and very mortal, just like you.
Theolia looks startled. You are sanctified. That would mean the Greater Will. It supports you. How is that possible? How is that possible?
Because this world is without hope, without reason, without actual godly or higher things that maintain it. I have talked with the Ranita Witch, and she's an embodiment of the nihilistic worldview, of how everything is just under the scheme. It doesn't matter how hypocritical you are. You might do as you will, you might kill as many as you will. There is no greater causes, no justice in the end. Everyone will just conquer and do evil stuff without anything, without justice. And that is the world, how this world operates. And
But the greater will and the Erd Tree, what of the Erd Tree? Is it not still able to mend the world?
I am going to be the thing that is changing. I am unreasonably, and here it comes. I don't enjoy. I will not see the world that will be. I will give my life for sake of this dream.
Theolia looks worried. You will give your life for this dream. Do you not fear death?
I am. That's why I have been articulating with many people. That's why I forced my way to Marika's mind and had to conversation with the L3 itself. Forced my way because I wanted to know before I commit. And I know for a certain that for what I am about to do, what I will receive. And I see it worthwhile.
Theolia is stunned. You forced your way into the mind of Marika. You spoke with the greater will itself.
R3, but yes.
Theolia is shocked. You just said the greater will's name.
If I did, it was by happenstance. But yes, I will be using my body to feed myself the R3 roots. Make it feed on me and mend the great Elden Ring with my body that houses the rune of the Dead Prince. And it will bring the sanctified and natural death cycle back into the world. And with the rune of Unborn, the rebirths from their tree will rekindle, and people will not longer just walk like a mindless hollow people with too much life experience. They will die, long sleep, and they will be reborn. And I will make it possible with my sacrifice. And that is going to be the center pillar that will make the world not fall.
Theolia looks pale, his entire perception changing. You will feed yourself to the tree's roots. You will sacrifice yourself for this dream. You will sacrifice yourself to feed the roots of the Erd Tree, to end the undead curse, with your own body.
Yes. And before that, we will utilize the Golden Order, the spare best parts of it. I have already spoken others whom you probably don't know of. My two things that I have just wondered by myself is to give the soldiers, just the normal everyday soldiers, things to work on when there is no war due to Miko's charm. There is gonna be a great amount of building, ruins and such that will give physical labor and meaning to many. That is the first thing that will be resembling the age of reclamation and compassion.
Theolia frowns. You will use the soldiers to rebuild and fix the ruins, to give them an occupation in peacetime.
Yes, and other is what I personally thought up is before I give myself to the L3, I am going to linger here, have children, and also see some things that at least be with a safer mind that things are moving smoothly, and use my might if it is needed to help with my allies and with people I hold dear.
Theolia is clearly shocked. You wish to have children. You plan on having heirs.
Yes, and probably that is the reason. But for that time, I see the nobles, I see the all of the people that walk all around. You probably have seen them, slayed many of them probably.
Theolia nods. Yes, I have encountered people like this. Their minds broken, walking endlessly. It is a pitiful sight. Arith remained.
And and this is where comes my second idea. I want to create a purple flower garden that is going to be utilized by the performers and led by you, or you are going to contribute it. I hope that will make the medicine the truly like a sweet medicine for those who are suffering, who cannot bear any longer, whom I would see at peace. And they will sleep until the time I have sacrificed myself, and they will be fed to the earth tree, and they will be reborn anew with new vigor, with new hope. But I need more the medicine. I need to maintain the flower, and I will need you to that purpose.
Theolia looks thoughtful. So you wish for me to grow the flowers needed to grant people the ability to sleep, to end this endless suffering.
To those who are in immediate need. And of course, the systems of Golden Order and people that know how to handle like a paperwork and people's like estimate who needs it, who doesn't, will be like a middleman to process things. And you don't need to, because I see you're very tender and very like I don't probably enjoy these things, or maybe I'm wrong, that you enjoy paperwork and you enjoy like participating in that. That like it will be under management.
Theolia nods in understanding. You want me to grow the flowers necessary to ease the suffering of those who cannot bear their immortality any longer. You have people to assist with the paperwork needed to distribute it, and the people who are not suffering, they will not get the medicine. Am I correct, or have I missed anything?
You are correct. And that is the part I would like you to join for our government stuff. That would be the reason.
Theolia looks surprised. You wish for me to join the government, to help assist in allocating the medicine to those who need it.
Yes. And after I'm gone, I wish you to be also the one who will probably, I don't know, to give them like a very dignified burial with a white cloth over them, and they are like honored and not just stacked crudely and ugly way. And with each individual body that is sleeping is taken care of with care and dignity.
Theolia pauses, a bit disturbed. You will be asking me to oversee burials when you have sacrificed yourself, to make sure they are done in a dignified fashion.
At least be one of the center people in that. Of course, I want you to have as many people to help you that we'll find when peace comes. And I think we will find ample opportunities to find more and more people that are contributing to those things. And this is the cornerstone. Mikoela's charm will aid us overwhelmingly, so we will be effective, we will be efficient, we will be powerful, and it is all that is needed is Mikoela's godly charm. And it will help us subtly, and it is going to be overwhelmingly effective. And if it doesn't, I see it worthwhile to hope and still yearn for.
Theolia is silent, thinking through your words. So to sum up everything up, you wish for me to gather people to help grow and distribute the flowers needed to grant people the gift of eternal sleep. Also, I will oversee burials to make sure they are done in a respectful manner. This is also that your plan may go successfully, and you want all of this to be supported by Mikola's charm. Is that right?
What is your answer, Theolier?
Theolia is silent, lost in thought. He seems conflicted, as your words echo through his thoughts.
I'm not going to beg. I ask you as a tarnished friend.
Theolia sighs, finally answering. I will help you. I will oversee the production of the flowers, and I will make sure the burials are done appropriately.
I have another personal question, and I like a thing that I would ask you.
Theolia looks at you questioningly. Another question. Please, go on.
I have a couple spirit assets that I'm using. The Brave Performer Carman and Performer Tricia. After I'm gone, I would like you to take care of those two. Meant them to use them to aid you, to protect yourself, even though there is no need. I have some other spirit assets that I'm going to contribute and give others that I trust whom will take care of them.
Thiolier is caught off guard, his eyes widening. You are going to ask me to take care of your spirit ashes? You want me to be caretaker of Performer Carmen and Tricia? You do know these ashes are still loyal to you. They will not listen to my beck and call.
When I give you the box and chant the words that very kind spirit as tuner will teach me, they will. It is not going to cause you trouble. This is unnecessary gear that you have. It's fine.
Theolia looks doubtful, still uncertain. You want to have a spiritist tutor me in how to give orders to your ashes, and you claim it won't cause me any trouble. How can you be sure? I don't know a single thing about how to deal with spirit ashes.
There are companions that are just very efficient and will help you in a battle and aid you with you. They don't complain, they don't. And Trisha, I summoned her. She's 2 heads taller than me. She has very crude face, but she was the one who took care of many suffering misbegotten, and she's very caring person.
Theolia nods, still slightly anxious. I see. I suppose having companions to fight with me will be useful in battle. And this Tricia, I assume she was very compassionate. I know a great deal of the misbegotten have been scorned and treated very harshly.
I have been killing them also because they are naturally they are just violent, they are bitter, they are overwhelmingly hostile and grievous. They want to vengeance against everyone, innocent and guilty alike. It is very ugly situation, and out of that desperation, Miko's charm is necessary, I think. I don't want that hostility to continue. They will attack you, no matter if you argue or try to understand. And I don't seek to kill them, even though I enjoy in the midst of battle, and it is my sin and my failing.
Theolia nods, clearly sympathetic. Yes, the suffering the misbegotten have endured has twisted them into vengeful and hateful beings. It's truly unfortunate. But fighting has become their main way to release pent-up frustration and anger. Having Mikika's charm to help these misfortuned people would lessen the burden of their suffering.
Also, if somebody were to kill a peaceful misbegotten, we could judge them as murderers.
Theolia nods. Yes, if people killed peaceful and friendly misbegotten, we would be able to label them murderers. They would face judgment for their senseless killing.
And that is the other topic that I don't have much of. What is the rightful punishment? What is not rightful punishment? How much worth is forgiveness in this world? How much? Somebody would say we must forgive, some say don't. That I don't know, and I don't force you to give me the answers. But I would also, out of practical sense, say Miko's charm would not even make those murderers act on their desires. There would be absolute peace, and murderers would have the knowledge that they want, or they just would lose interest. But they would be free to do whatever they do, as the normal people would.
Theolia sighs, thinking through your statement. Yes, I believe you are right. Having the charm would stop people from going against each other. I can't really answer your question about the fairness of punishment. I can say that the world itself is not fair at all. The Tarnished are constantly fighting each other, and the different factions and their soldiers engage in vicious battles and wars. However, having the charm would change all of that, wouldn't it?
This is my personal opinion. lands between is dominated by hostility and warfare, and all rules are thrown out the window. There is no higher causes that people actually follow. There is no honor, there is no charity, there is no like a chivalry. It's all just go out the window. So why not just use Miko's gentle charm to charm everyone from their retarded fighting?
Theolia nods, a bit solemn. I agree with you, the conflict of the lands between has caused such chaos and carnage. Many do not even take into account honor or loyalty in the midst of battle. That is why we need the Mikola charm, to bring a swift and simple end to this pointless bloodshed.
At this moment, it is means and practicalities, and we are not. And I am ready to forsake for this higher thing of the free will in these circumstances, because in this moment, the circumstances just are overbearingly cruel and just too much to be upheld by some abstract way of being. If we have true possibility to change things.
Theolia nods. Yes, we must give up some things if we want to succeed. In this dire moment, what we are doing is necessary. Having the Mikola charm, it could change everything.
Keep your questioning tone. I like that. It is always good to question oneself, even in midst of peace and even midst of very great cause. That you questioned me was truly important, and I accept it in all its ways. Even though I seek to you ultimately align with me, I still appreciate it.
Theolia nods again, beginning to relax. Yes, even in the midst of important causes, it is necessary to question and ponder over things, even if it's uncomfortable. I have decided to align with you, but still, questioning you is the natural course of action.
Know that you will, we will also both of us probably lose our will to, after all, Indians after some time go against this plan. Because Mikola is going to bring the charm upon us, but it is going to be so subtle we are not going to notice, and it is just going to be just what we expect.
Theolia nods, understanding. Yes, I understand. The charm will be very subtle, so we might not even realize we have changed. That is how it is going to go, yes.
But now we are heading towards the Saint Rina and conversing with her. Probably we are going to look for her place of being, collect a great amount of seeds and stuff that will be then shown and produced to growing the crops in the lands between.
Theolia seems surprised. We are looking for Saint Rina. Aren't her locations a closely guarded secret?
We will find the place. And I believe there is going to be a great amount of flowers and seeds that we will just collect.
The flowers growing, there are going to be a lot of them, yes.
We are going to just collect many, bring with us and produce many more.
Theolia nods. All right, so we are going to find Saint Rina. Then we are going to collect a large amount of the seed needed to grow the flowers. Then we are going to bring them to the place where we can start growing them. Am I understanding correctly?
Yes, I am very excited that we are in the same boat. It's always nice to have a companionships that are freely given, freely chosen. Even though I know that I'm a little bit hypocrite, even if gently so.
Theolia nods, his expression becoming earnest. Yes, it is nice to have companionship, especially in these dark and terrible times. And don't worry about being hypocritical. We are all hypocrites in varying ways.
I will continue now. This was very good conversation, my friend.
Theolia smiles, agreeing to what you had said. Yes, it was a good conversation, my friend. I'm glad we talked.